Some people you just let them settle, run right off into the sunset.
Sometimes you gotta just put those kettles out the pastures.
Star of wonder, star of light, star of why don't you shut up and leave me all right?
I like where that went. Yeah. As an equal opportunity offender, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of
Lock that one in. That one's going on the Christmas album.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
The
hustle and bustle of the day.
Hope you're not panicked right now.
So excited.
Hope you're not just like, oh, I forgot Billy's toys.
Oh well, Billy will survive.
And
Billy didn't need that anyway.
We brought a flask because you need a little something to get through the family.
Sometimes
you can't choose your family or your butt.
The eggnog is not enough. I have a friend who was making some homemade eggnog, and I hope he lets me try it. Otherwise, he says it's pretty easy.
Where do you come down on eggnog? You good? You like eggnog?
I'm okay with raw eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. But do you like eggnog?
Yeah, but that's raw eggs with cinnamon and a little bit of cream just to make it a little bit more slush.
I have a buddy who and I don't know if it's okay, but I guess this Alton Brown guy is famous for his eggnog recipe. I don't know Alton. Anyway, he's like, yeah, I've got some from like a couple of years ago, and I was like, that feels like you should throw that out.
Yeah, that's probably not good.
You try it first.
That's egg. You cottage cheese nog, man.
Hey, Dad, you want some cottage cheese nog?
I love eating this eggnog. It's just so chunky.
I'll try anything twice. I ate the rattlesnake tail first. Eddie, you want to pour something?
When you hear the tone, it will be exactly.
What time will it be?
Time to get.
That's not a time, Eddie. Get a watch. I bought you that nice watch. Oh, you haven't opened it yet. You should open that present. It's
Merry
real
Christmas,
nice.
Eddie.
Stop asking us what time it is, and you start telling us what time it is because you have a watch timepiece. It's nice.
I got him mustache wax.
Oh, well, that's good. His was getting chunky. It was. This is getting old.
Cottage cheese.
It's got a shelf life.
I saw this, and I wanted to try it. I've not tried it. I think it's going to be really bad.
Is this not a straight liquor?
This is just straight liquor.
Is this limoncello?
Nope, this is Jameson.
Jameson, it's awfully bright.
It's Jameson Orange.
Is this... Oh, I saw some... I saw another whiskey or bourbon that was orange something at the store. It wasn't Jameson. And I was like, it's kind of old-fashioned, right?
Well, that's... So one of my favorite whiskeys... Yeah, one of my favorite whiskeys was aged in orange carousel barrels. And if you pour it over...
showing the camera.
If you pour it over ice, it tastes just like an old-fashioned. And so I was like, did Jameson crack the code to Irish old-fashions? So, Sláinte. Merry Christmas, buddy.
Yeah.
We'll see if this sucks or not.
Drink of wonder, drink of light, drink of one.
Oh, wow. You're going to love that. Boy, that's sweet. Yeah. Big Gravy's happy, huh? That's, it's a lot of saccharin in my mouth. You know what they say?
Did you say saffron?
Saccharin? If you've
Saccharin.
had saccharin in your mouth, you've had man there, too.
I don't put a lot of saccharins in my mouth.
It's, boy, that's not what I was
It's,
looking for.
That doesn't taste like bourbon. It tastes like Everclear.
Well, it's Jameson, so it's not bourbon. It's Irish whiskey.
So this is still a whiskey,
orange Irish whiskey.
It tastes like Everclear. It tastes like a clear.
That aftertaste is menacing, isn't it?
It ain't pleasant.
Boy, that really glues to your tongue.
It doesn't go away.
Well, Christmas.
We don't recommend that one.
You want to talk about Christmas regrets? It's called Jameson Orange.
Don't do it.
Wow. Oh man.
Oof. There's probably other versions of orange flavored whiskey bourbon things that are out there that maybe are not as bad. I think Jameson did not get there.
You can no longer buy it, but Bardstown's Distillare is, my gosh, it's one of the finest whiskeys I've ever had.
Bardstown's interesting because their regular stuff sells at kind of the regular market price.
Yeah, $40, $45.
But then there's these $160 bottles that I stumble across. And I'm like, I I forget what makes them so special.
Because they're collaborations with other.
And they were limited.
Well, and they're limited. And
well, see, son, it's the market of supply and demand, and what they do with the distilleries is they create bourbon in limited numbers and quantities. That way they can drive the price up because they don't have as much of it, and they want to be collector pieces for the refined palates of those bourbon drinkers around the world who really enjoy what we're doing in Bardstown.
I think the Jameson went into effect.
Oh, yes.
Quickly there.
That's just Bardstown, if you want to do some commercials, let me know.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
But no, I think that's what I was hoping this was going to be too. And boy, this really
nah. You're like, maybe this could be the cheap version knocked off. No.
Like I could see this being a good like summertime drink, like this and Sprite.
It kind of needs something to cut that aftertaste.
And so you can make it like more of like a Fanta. You can make it. Wanna Fanta, don't you wanna Fanta?
Is that a song?
That was a commercial from like
From Fanta?
Yeah, like the early aughts, I think. It was like Fanta.
In Missouri, we had an off-brand soda called Vess Pop, and they didn't have commercials because it was poor man's pop. You could get that from like Aldi's back in the day, and Aldi's back in the day was poor man's food.
Okay.
Which is why my wife wouldn't shop there for a long time. She'd be like, well, those people shop there. I'm like, those people are my granny. Just so you know.
You mean those people? The people who like to save money and like not waste it on...
She'd be like, those people.
Okay. That's pretty funny. I have to say...
A little snooty there, Cammy.
Not a sinner or saint moment, but today's one of my 3 favorite days of the year.
December 24th is a very important day. What happened on this day in history? Let me think. I got nothing.
Oh, it's not about a date in history.
Oh.
It's
about a day in the present.
So yeah, my favorite. So the Indy 500, the 4th of July, and Christmas Eve.
Indy 500 today?
No. It's one of my favorite days.
Oh my God.
4th of July is one of my favorite days. Christmas Eve.
I'm just kidding, folks. I'm just kidding him.
It's the guys, the Jameson.
I'm just giving him a little razzy dazzy.
I shouldn't have given him whiskey this late in the day. It's you don't feed your mongo after 6.
Come on.
Yeah, no, I think today there's actual Christmas hope out there today. Like, because even if people didn't have like got into the Christmas spirit, like the day before Christmas, like no matter how
there's something magical about it. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, no matter how curmudgeon-y people.
You're saying this?
Yeah, I am.
Wow.
I am. It's the only day of the year I soften up a little bit. So enjoy it, guys. Today's the day.
And we get him, folks.
Yeah,
we get him for a whole 45 minutes. We get big old soft Ben Ford.
And it will only be 45 minutes. This will not go
and
long.
we're done. Shut up. Turn off the lights.
This will not go long today.
I started the Advent season. This is an interesting thing. I had a breakfast the other day, and it was it's the Education Foundation board that I sit on. And in there we have a friend that sits on the board who is a non-practicing Jew. In fact, she grew up Jewish, went to Hebrew school and everything. And then her husband, who grew up Christian, I'm not sure what flavor, but he converted to Judaism when they got married. And she's like, don't. Like, she's like, I don't practice, I don't care. And he's like, no, I want to. And so, like, he did, and he went through it all. And so she's always like, he's more Jewish than I am. But we were at the breakfast, and someone was like, well, do you guys celebrate Christmas? And she's like, yes, we do. And she's like, and that's not weird. And I'm like, it was an interesting conversation, because I was like, well, Christmas there's different things. Like, technically, as a Christian, this is not Christmas, this is Advent season. And you can get all technical and whatever you want. But I'm like, this is Advent season. Christmas doesn't start until the night of the 24th. So this is Advent season, and Christmas will continue for 12 days. And Hanukkah just wrapped up a few days ago, about a week ago. And then Kwanzaa is a moving holiday, and it moves around in there somewhere. And then I don't think...
You got Boxing Day on the 26th.
Boxing Day for the English, yes. And then I don't think Hindu... They do Diwali, but I think that's earlier. That's more like...
Diwali's November, isn't it?
It's further out there.
And it's their Festival of Lights.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right, but that is part of the beauty. Like, there's lots of lights in the winter holidays, kind of whatever religion you are.
Yeah.
And she was like, yes, we practice. I was like, well, I went to Jamaica, and they would buy palm trees and put Christmas lights on them. Because, and that's... I remember the first time seeing that and being like, you don't have pine. This isn't the...
Yeah.
If I learned something in school, well, this is not the climate zone for pine trees.
Yeah.
So those aren't real.
I remember the first time being in southern Florida during Christmas. And like they literally just run one strand of lights straight up a palm tree trunk. And that's it. And I'm like, what was the point?
Who was it? Was it Corona? Corona did
that commercial's still good.
Yeah, they still pull it out there every once in a while, but it's...
The full thing was like, now if you're going to do that, good on you.
Yeah.
Good on you.
So yeah, it's just interesting. Like Christmas is, and it's a national holiday. So I'm like, well, Christmas. There's a non-religious Christmas holiday that I think everybody can participate in who wants to, and that's cool. That's awesome. For me, as a practicing Christian, I'm like, this is the Advent season, which is the start of the Christian calendar, and then Christmas will begin on the 24th, and there will be 12 days of that, and we will continue that until Epiphany.
That's right. I was trying to think of that on the way here because I call it Little Christmas and you call it Epiphany. And I was like, it's not. Yeah. I kept coming up with Ephesians and I knew that wasn't right. That's a book of the Bible, isn't it?
It is, yes. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, Epiphany is the celebration of a few things. It's a celebration of actually when the kings are believed to visit the Magi, whatever you want to call them, wise men, whenever they believed to visit Jesus, which was actually 2 years after the birth. So, I mean, and the whole nativity scene, like, that was birthed out of St. Francis. He did that. He lived in the 15th century. He was
a sissy.
Yeah, he's a big sissy. Jeez, what a weenie, that guy. Anybody could whoop him. But he was living in the town, and he's like, these people don't know. They have no hope. Like, they're hopeless. And so he's like, I want to create the biblical story for them in a way that they can see it and understand it. And he was an animal lover. He would preach to them naked all the time. And so...
I do that too.
Yeah. St. Ben, he's a sissy.
Yeah, darn right. Today he is. St. Ben of the Softies. Body by bacon.
So yeah, he created the creche, or the nativity scene as we know it, with all the elements of the Christmas story present at one time. But it's not how it unfolds in the biblical story. So... It's just all of this interpretation that we hold on to, and it's kind of fun to go back, and it's fun because it disturbs the notion, the tradition that most people have of being like, well, actually go back and read it. Like,
well, and it's funny because like the 12 days of Christmas that I know has nothing to do with that. It's when we were on the Julian calendar.
Lots of birds in those 12
6th.
days.
What's that?
Lots of birds in those 12 days of Christmas.
Darn right.
So many birds.
Darn right. Christmas was January 6th. And then when Pope Gregory redid the calendar, it fell on December 25th. So the 12 days of Christmas was just the calendar differential of Christmas to Christmas.
Yep.
And that's what we always grew up knowing as the 12 days of Christmas. And it's funny because a buddy got me, my Christmas gift from him was the 12 beers of Christmas.
Oh, yes.
And I've never heard of any of these 12 beers. They're like pint and a half German cans.
Okay.
And they came like in this huge box with like a description of them and everything. And I saw him last weekend and he was like, how are those beers? And I was like, I haven't drank them. He's like, why? I was like, because I'm going to drink them on the 12 days of Christmas.
12 days of Christmas.
He had no idea what it was.
Right, yeah. Most people are like, some people are like, December 13th.
Yeah.
12 days of Christmas. Yeah. Like, that's not how that works, you idiot.
It goes.
Stop it.
So I said, no, I'll crack the first one for us now tomorrow. I'll crack the first one tomorrow. But I was like, no, I'm going to drink one for each 12 days of Christmas. And he's like, oh, that's a much better idea. I was like, well, dude, you gave them to me in mid-November. So they've just been sitting in my garage for a while.
Well, I don't want to throw a web blanket on the holidays, but so we started Advent season a few weeks ago. Please. You got to come back to it. But as I was preparing my message and my sermon, I was reading about kind of the conflict in Israel and Palestine that's happening. And they were interviewing a number of Palestinian pastors, and they were saying, like, there won't be Christmas this year. Like, we're not lighting candles, we aren't holding celebrations in Bethlehem because it's in Palestine and Jerusalem sits in Israel. And so he's like, there is no Christmas in Bethlehem. Like, and yet, you know, people got all bent out of, Americans got all bent out of shape. Like, you can't cancel Christmas. And I'm like, no, but they can save lives. Yeah. They can help protect the people that they're trying to shepherd and care for.
Sure.
And so it just
that's not the American way.
I it was actually a very good article, and I was like, that's a poignant reality. And like, so the second, we've all seen the Advent wreaths, and you light a candle each Advent Sunday, and the second Sunday is the candle of peace.
Okay.
And so we're leaving that unlit this year, just because we talk about peace, but it seems so far removed from reality in such a in some way of remembrance and honoring, and to keep us in check with reality of like peace is not present in this world.
Yeah.
Which is why we celebrate Advent, like for the second coming of Christ and the full introduction into the new heavens and the earth that he will bring, where his kingdom will reign, which is not in subjugation but is in peaceful restoration.
Yeah.
Which most evangelical conservative Christians get wrong. Every knee will bow. I'm like, he is not a World Wrestling Federation champion. He is not coming in that way. Sorry.
What if there was a wrestler who parodied Jesus? That'd be awesome.
Anyway.
His finishing moves the whole
That's too heavy. Lighten that up. What was your joke about?
You said I don't want to throw a wet blanket on Christmas, and I finished it in my head, but the strip clubs are open. For all you sinners out there.
She likes it for an extra $150.
Welcome to the stage, Cinnamon, formerly known as Tiffany.
That's funny.
You got Sensi Saintsy moments?
So
recent or Christmas?
I don't know where this fits in. I was listening to some podcasts because
You're not a podcast guy.
I know. Every time I've done it, I've always kind of like. I can listen to news podcasts. Those are okay. I can find those.
Yeah, I start my day with those. And a science
They're
podcast.
more bearable. But guys that just sit on a podcast for 45 minutes and yammer about their own personal...
Idiots.
It just is...
It's unbearable,
It's
isn't it?
mind-numbing.
Wow.
So anybody who'd want to do that's got to be a narcissist.
There is no audience for those people.
No, nobody wants to listen to that.
Yeah,
and so...
not even people in Asia and South Africa and France. And Ireland I saw recently.
But I listened to a very popular podcast, a celebrity podcast, and I won't name it, but they had technical issues. And I was like, well, there you go.
It happens to all of them.
We're not alone in this.
Yeah.
And if it happens,
Yeah.
if it can happen to that guy, it can happen to us. So,
it does happen to us.
So yeah.
Heck yeah.
So it was a little bit
the
of
market on technical issues.
I would say, I don't know if that's a saint moment, but I was just like, okay, like
Yeah, that is
it
good.
happens. And so, and his podcast wasn't like. We were driving, and Kimmy was in the car with me, and like after 40 minutes, I was like, I'm done. Are you good? And she's like, yeah, this is miserable. And I was like, okay, I just thought it was me. Like,
because they were having technical.
No, it just the content was bad.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is what anybody who stumbles on our podcast thinks.
They probably are. Well, that's why it's like, oh, listen to this. What the crap? All right.
I'm sorry, I had better things to do with my. I mean,
strip clubs are open.
I know I'm depressed, but I'm not that depressed.
Yeah, that's the benchmark. They listen to us and go, well, at least we're not those idiots. Do you guys have a Christmas Eve tradition that you adhere to as a family?
Yes, family and beyond. So we host a dinner every Christmas Eve in the afternoon because we do a 7 o'clock Christmas Eve service.
Okay.
And I, when I was younger and had more energy and wanted to, I would host that dinner. And I used to make it all, and it was usually about 20 people and close family and friends that we have.
Yeah.
So I'm getting older. It's waning. My energy is waning.
Yeah.
Not my interest in having it, but my energy is. So I encourage others to bring things and contribute to the meal, and it is nice. My kids look forward to it. They're like, we're still doing the Christmas Eve dinner, right? And so yes, I do it in part for that, and it is nice.
And I missed if you said it. Is it family or is it family and friends?
Family and friends.
Okay. So like how many people are you talking?
20.
Okay.
Yeah. 20-ish people. It's simple. It's quick. I mean, it's a nice meal, and it is nice. And then we kind of clean up, and then we head over and prepare for the Christmas Eve service.
Yeah.
And then it's that. Like, I enjoy that because then I was telling another friend of mine, I said, I've been doing it's the same exact service for the last 12 years. And we go through obviously the scriptural biblical stories, but then I also bring in a couple of meditations that bring the reality of the world. And so kind of along the Bethlehem story, like there's a couple of meditations in there that just kind of bring reality to it and aren't just like, oh, happy Santa Claus, happy gift day. Like let's really remember what this is about. And then we close, we take communion, and then we close with Silent Night and light the candles, and everybody holds those up. And it is kind of this.
I'm telling you, man, there's magic in that.
There is a ton of magic. And in the last year, and then this year, we'll do it at the Gathering House that we're at. And it's the quaintness and the hominess of that takes it kind of to a whole nother level of being rich.
Yeah.
And so then, like, we go home, we change into pajamas. We used to go see some of the light shows that you could see. You used to be able to drive through Reynolds and things on Christmas Eve. But after doing that about 5 years, the kids were like, sitting in line just to get in is lame. Can we not do that? And so we're like, sure. So what we do is we buy a game. One of the kids works with me, and we buy a game that we give to the family on Christmas Eve. We go home and play a game, and then we watch Family Man on Christmas Eve.
Oh yeah.
Night. So we usually get to bed somewhere between 11 and midnight, and then we have to coordinate the time we're getting up, what time are we not getting up before, last year we thought maybe we turned a corner and we're like, oh, they're going to be like, whatever, can we sleep in? And whenever we get up, we'll get up.
Yeah.
That was not the case.
It's still Christmas.
One, Asher was there. Asher's like, they'll be there when we get up. Like, let's just sleep in and then do presents at 10.
No, dude.
And the other two were like, nah, 7?
You're
7?
done.
And we're like, 7. Cammy's like, 8. And they're like, 7:30? And she's like, 8. And they're like, 7:30? So I think last year it was 7:30.
Okay.
I imagine that'll be the case this year where
that's fun.
2 of them will still be pulling for early presents.
That's fun.
And then that's interesting too because I then get up and I read one of the Christmas narrative. I read the narrative of his birth that morning.
Okay.
We started that when the kids were young, and I thought we would move away from that. I think it was during COVID where I was not on my A game and forgot. And the kids were like, whoa, what are you doing? Hold up. They're like, what are you doing, Dad? I'm like, oh, right, yeah, yes. Let me get that and read that, yeah. So I used to, Max Lucado, Christian writer, he was very popular in the 90s.
That's how you say his name. Lucado?
I don't know.
Oh,
that's how I say his name.
I love it. Go ahead.
Max, M-A. I think that's pretty how. Yeah. Some people say it Victoria, but I was like, I think it's Max.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't.
No,
so,
yeah.
But you say it however you want to.
Yeah.
Oh, you meant the Latin.
Mox.
He wrote a fictional representation of demons and angels preparing for the birth of Christ. It's called Cosmic Christmas.
Oh, cool.
And it's very hard to find. And I stumbled across it in the 90s and then finally found a copy of it. But it's very cool because it talks about the demons and the archangels fighting on delivering this message to Mary and then delivering the vial of
that's interesting.
Holy semen to is what as best can be described, I guess.
We mixed Joe up in a petri dish here, and
it's like, well, it is that because it's like, and I visited the throne room and the Lord placed the glowing vial around my neck, and I'm like, and he's like, you must deliver this to Mary, and I'm like, oh, we're doing some in vitro fertilization, and that's the...
Hey, now for the 90s, I mean, I realize that in vitro started in the 70s, but that's still pretty edgy for the 90s.
But it was. I used to read that every year because it was kind of a fun, imaginative story.
Yeah.
And, it was very...
The vial of semen.
Obviously, the story didn't say that, but you're like, yeah, just read between the lines. It's there. Read the Cliff Notes. It really changes
and Gabriel.
And you can't read, like, if you want to mess up the Bible story, it's hard to read the NIV where Gabriel's like, the Lord will come upon you. You're like, stop that. Just stop that.
That's not the message.
Hey.
I read the Bible according to Mark Twain. I mean, it was in there. Oh, my gosh.
So yeah, that's what we do.
Those are great.
How about you guys? What do you guys? Any traditions or anything that
we do? We do have traditions. Christmas
tradition.
My in-laws live about a half an hour away, so we go to my in-laws for dinner on Christmas Eve night. Typically we eat around 5 or 6, and then my wife's brother and his family are there, and it's just the two of them, and so...
just the two of them that eat?
No. Like my wife only has one sibling.
We're all here.
And so,
go ahead.
yeah.
No,
So, but
please sit and eat.
But no, actually, it's great because I grew up in a big family.
Okay.
And so it was just like
the simplicity,
really hectic with like all the people and all the dynamics and like all the political differences and all the religious differences, and it was just like it was never a lot of fun. And like we even always kind of, this is negative, but so maybe this is my saint moment or sinner moment, I don't know. But like when my mom lost her cool and yelled at someone, one of my siblings or myself would be like, "Now it's Christmas." Like,
well,
that's
interesting. Yeah, I'll kind of pull a sinner saint moment, and then not to steal your story.
No,
but
we can go back to
like everything was always very stressful. Like I had great memories growing up with Christmas. Like there was a lot of fondness, but there was also like a lot of stress, and I just like realized like my mom must have just been stressed to the max.
Oh yeah,
rearing us because
I think so.
There just was a lot of yelling, and beatings.
There was a lot of violence and anger.
and not to say we weren't. At least it was due.
I deserved it,
but still, yes, like that was there, and so like particularly on Christmas Eve, I'm like. Especially, and even more so as I get older, I'm like, don't lose your cool, man. Just be cool. Let things go sideways, and just kind of try to recuperate and move on. So it's funny. I mean, it's just yes.
Yeah. So no, it's.
I want good memories. I don't want to be like, so what was your holidays like growing up? Oh, we usually celebrated until Dad blew up, and then we're like, this is it.
It's awkward.
Yeah,
get out of here.
Oh, we know it's Christmas.
Yeah. So so that's why I don't go home for Christmas anymore. Yeah. Like, it's just not. It's toxic. But no, my in-laws are just genuinely great people.
Yeah.
Like, and I remember when my wife and I first started dating, she like referred to her dad as Saint Don, and I was like, Saint Don, and she's like, you'll get it when you meet him. And like his cardiologist after his open heart surgery was like, hey man, no more 6 days a week at the food pantry, because like he like my in-laws just spend all of their time volunteering for their parish, and I'm like, good on you. I mean, they're just great people. And so we go down there, and her brother's a great guy, and like her nephews are fun to be around. They're a little like when we left Thanksgiving, I was like, so those kids just don't stop talking, do they? And she's like, no, they don't.
Oh, so they're related to your wife.
They're very chatty folks. Yeah, they get it honestly. For sure.
I met her before.
Yeah,
I've been caught in a conversation.
You heard her talk to you before.
That's true.
And then tomorrow we will get up, and my wife and her son sleep late.
Okay.
And so I actually do my gift exchange with my next door neighbor. Like he comes over and he and I do our gift exchange like on Christmas morning.
In your pajamas?
He's in his pajamas because their family does the matching pajamas.
Oh, yeah.
And so but this is kind of funny. I've never known another family that does this. They celebrate every single holiday like Christmas. So if it's Mother's Day, Father's Day, a birthday.
Big.
So no, but like you get up and you open presents. First thing is presents.
Oh.
And so
presents for all the holidays, huh?
No, but like birthdays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, stuff like that. Holidays, you would give a gift.
Gotcha.
Like, they're not getting up early planting a tree on Earth Day. So
it's Earth Day. Can we open the presents?
But it's funny because like they're all up first thing, and so after they get up, he'll come over and he and I do our gift exchange. And like my family's 2.5 hours away from getting up at this point, so I'm typically just like doing the crosswords at the fire, and then. They'll get up, we'll open gifts, the kid will go to his dad's, and they'll do whole Christmas with his dad's side of the family, and my wife and I just watch movies and order Chinese.
Okay.
That's our tradition.
So we're going to get details here, because we're going to explore this, because every family does it differently. Mm-hmm. What is the gift opening? What is the procedure for this? So go ahead, I'll let you start.
For my family, or like
yours, when your Christmas morning, when you get to like, okay, it's go time, what is procedure? Because you have stockings. We've talked. Yep. You guys have stockings, and you have gifts under the present.
Yep.
And so how does all of that unfold?
So it's funny because I'm gonna if I can dive in a little bit here.
Yeah.
My growing up.
It's your podcast too.
Oh God, yes.
Ah!
growing
That's my
up
gift to you.
was the most painful way to open gifts.
Oh, I don't know.
One at a time.
Oh.
So mom could see you open each gift. So it went youngest to oldest, which was great because I got to open first. I'm the youngest. So I open one gift. Then it's Nick's turn. Then it's CJ's turn. Then it's Kim's turn. Then it's mom's turn. Then it's Pop's turn. Back to me. You do this round robin for 4 hours, man. Because also my mom was always also like, big gift is at the end.
Right.
So you're like, cool, I'm opening socks. I'm opening a dress shirt. I'm things like that. That sucks. My in-laws, they kick ass. They're like, all right, go, free for all. Everybody opens at once. And then at the end of it, they kind of go around and they're like, hey, Kevin, what'd you get? Hey, Andrew, what'd you get? And so like, and then it's just, thank you, Grandma and Grandpa, thanks, and so it's just kind of thank you. Since we're such a small family, just the three of us, my stepson actually chooses who goes first.
Okay.
And but it's always funny because like as an only child who like would naturally be like unintentionally selfish, he isn't on Christmas.
Okay.
So he's always like, Ben go first or Mom go first.
Okay.
And so like.
So you do one at a time.
No, you open all your gifts.
Oh,
so
you
if you're the person to go, you open all your gifts,
Okay.
and then it goes to the next person.
Gotcha,
They open all their gifts.
Okay.
They open all their gifts, and we do gifts first, stockings last.
Gifts first, stockings last.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you guys?
Okay. So ours is different. We do stockings first.
Okay.
And then we do. So I grew up where, cousins were there, aunt and uncle were there, like everybody was at grandma's house, and then under the Christmas tree was packed out halfway in the living room.
Yeah.
And so we after we sang songs upstairs around the organ,
that's right.
we would take pictures on the stairs, and then you would come back and find your space in the living rooms. Mm-hmm. And then
oh man, Christmas is here.
And then there were two or three people got to be elves, and they would unload the bottom of the Christmas tree, and so everybody had their pile by them, and it was a pile, and then it was everybody open at once. And then later that afternoon, after the dinner and after everything was cleaned up, then you had to give the aunts and the grandmothers the tour of the presents. Okay. And you had to remember who gave you what. Like,
oh, crap.
Okay, and who gave you that?
Santa.
Right, yeah.
Every time, Santa.
And so it was great opening everything. Oh, and we started growing up. We had big, long stuffed stockings. And so you did the stockings. Then you cleaned that all up, and then you unloaded you elved the gifts. Okay. So now, when I married, and Cammie's parents were like, we would celebrate with them. My mother-in-law would unpack under the Christmas one gift at a time, boom, to one person, and it got to be a joke between her and I because she would do it, and then usually Cammie and her sister at some point would be like, "No, Mom, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong," and like they'd start not yelling at her, but raising their voice at her and telling her how to do it or whatever. Oh my! And like gosh. I realized that after 2 or 3 years, and Kathy's like, "I'm sorry, I'm doing it wrong. I'm sorry, I'm trying." And so I was like, "This is my favorite part of the holiday of us yelling at Kathy and telling like this is real Christmas." And it got to be an inside joke with her where she's like, "Yeah, this is my favorite part."
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was like, I'm like, "You're doing it." So
the annual yelling at Kathy, cool guys.
So, kids. But at home, we do a modified version of that where we do a round of presents, and the kids each take a turn being the elf, if you will. So we start with stockings, we clean that up, and then Jada will be like, "Okay, I'll get the first round of gifts," and she gets one for everybody, and then she gets to say who goes first for her round, and so everybody opens up their gift one at a time. And then it's Asher, you go be the elf, and you get everybody a gift. That's cool. That's how we do it, and it's kind of fun. You get to see what everybody's doing. Yeah. And it's not long. We're still done. Hour and a half. Yeah. Because everybody's anxious and curious, and so it's nice. It's enjoyable. It's what the kids know. They seem to enjoy that. Yeah. They want to do it. They want to be elves, and they're old enough now where they're buying gifts. Yeah. On their own, and so they're kind of like, "Ooh, I want to do my gifts next," right? So they bring all theirs out for a round and then grab one for themselves under the tree. So yeah, it is nice. And then we open everything. We do cinnamon rolls for breakfast. That's the traditional. Okay. We do the canned cinnamon rolls that you pop out, Pillsbury, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. and do that, and then at some point we go over to our in-laws and do Christmas over there and unwrap presents.
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day, yes. Yeah. And it's a spread of 2 soups and kind of sausage and cheeses laid out on the island, and you just kind of veg all day.
That's nice.
Do the presents, play a game or two. They usually have it unbearably hot, so I wear shorts over, and I'm like, and eventually I'm like, okay, I gotta leave. I gotta cool off. Like, I'm done.
Wow.
Like, it's so hot here. Like, yeah.
Dang.
So, yeah, but it's nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
laid
fun.
back, relax.
That's fun. Yeah, I do appreciate that. So my ex-wife, it was just run around.
Yeah.
Like, Christmas was so hectic because, like, her folks were divorced, my folks didn't live close, so, like, just trying to get around to all the Christmases just was so hectic. And I'm one of 4, she's one of 4, so then it's like big Christmas after big Christmas, and like her stepdad's one of like 7 or 8, and so it was just like everything was just so big. And I really love kind of just that small, especially Christmas morning, just being so small and intimate with just the 3 of us, where it's like, we can just be.
Enjoy.
It's okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like, they get up and I've already got a fire going. We do coffee cake. I make coffee cake every year for Christmas. Uh-huh. It's the only thing I bake throughout the entire year.
Yeah.
But then friends came over and had some, and they were just like, crap. So now I make 7 or 8 coffee cakes throughout Christmas.
Dang it.
Yeah.
When we got married, we knew that Christmas was significant for both of our families, and we're like, we're not going to make them happy, so we're going to make everybody mad. So we're like, when we get married, we will rotate Thanksgiving, and Christmas will always be at our house. Because I'm like, I'm not waiting until we have kids to then fight. Like, because I'm like, I want to have Christmas at home with our kids, and so or everybody can be mad and disappointed at us. And if they were mad, they never expressed that. But we always did Christmas at our house, and then we moved to Noblesville, where we have the in-laws closer. That changed. We still did Christmas at our house, but then that afternoon went over there. But it's been nice to be able to create that tradition and not have to travel or go anywhere or share time or space. So
and it also worked out well for us that with my wife and her ex-husband, their parenting schedule was Christmas morning is ours, Christmas afternoon and night is his.
Yeah.
And so that and it worked out well because that was her family's Christmas Eve tradition. Was that, I guess, even growing up, they did all their gifts on Christmas Eve.
Sure. Yeah.
And so,
that's fun. Do you do work Christmas parties or neighborhood Christmas parties, anything like that?
No. So we've done work Christmas parties in the past. Last year was a catastrophic disaster at a Christmas party, where it kind of
sounds epic.
It really fell to me and one other coworker suddenly having to host the party and clean up the party, and like it was just not a good look. So we're doing nothing this year for work. Our neighborhood used to have like 7 or 8 couples who were pretty close. But I'm just going to be honest. Here's my center moment for today. The female dynamic ruined that. And some very catty, petty women became very Karen-y with each other and kind of dissolved that whole thing. And so while the guys are still cool and the guys still get together Wednesdays,
no wives will welcome.
Just guys night, and we still do whiskey Wednesdays. But no, we have a couple that we're close-ish with. Who are a same-sex couple who actually will come over on the 23rd. So we're hosting them. Well, spoiler, last night. We hosted them last night. We're not recording in advance.
And it was wonderful. I loved what they were wearing.
It was so fantastic.
Let me tell you.
Great shirt, Jim. No, we did a build-your-own pizza night at our house.
Okay.
So I got some fresh dough.
Simple.
Just something easy and not, just low-key. What about you guys?
We so we had a series of over 4 days, had 5 Christmas party celebrations, just the way it kind of, so we, so, and those, they were,
that's a lot of Christmas.
So 2 of them were boards that I sit on, and it's nice to not have the board meeting and kind of do a pitch-in, whatever. One of them we meet at a local restaurant. It's a breakfast lunch diner, and so they're closed in the evenings.
Oh, okay.
But the last 5 years he opens up in the evening for us.
Nice.
And hosts us, and he makes simply makes some breadsticks and dip and a like a trail mix kind of a thing.
Okay, yeah.
And then he's got his liquor license, so he brings in a little bit of alcohol to serve us up
Yeah.
as well. But it's super laid back and super casual. And we bring we ask everybody to bring a gift that reflects who you are to do in the exchange. And then we do the exchange, and then we try to guess who brought what gift.
Oh, nice.
So,
That's fun.
Yeah, so it's kind of fun to something that kind of reflects their personality. So I got to do something non-Pez related because they've got me pigeonholed there.
Dead giveaway. Yeah.
More than that, you jerks.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do that. I think I mentioned in the last episode we had an Emmett Otter Christmas band party that a friend of ours hosted, and he said, "Bring Appalachian food," and I'm like, "I don't know an Appalachian." So
what is that? Skunk?
I'm like, possum pie?
I got boiled squirrel.
So I Google searched it, and biscuits and gravy came up, and chicken and dumplings. So I'm like, you want chicken and dumplings or biscuits and gravy? And he's like, biscuits and gravy. So I made that, and then
bring Appalachian food. Wow.
It's a lot. Like, and we host one of those at our house. And it's laid back, but it's still like, I'm like, okay, I got to make some food and pull some things together for this. And so, it was a little crazy doing, like, I'm like, we didn't look at the calendar when we were scheduling everything, because everything just kind of was like boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, then it's done. When it's done, it's done, and we get to move on. So.
Oh, man. I don't know where we are on time.
40 minutes, so we can.
I got
a story.
I got one final story here, and this was really funny. If I had one word to describe my wife, it would probably be stressed. She's just a very stressed person.
She's wound tight. She's wound tight.
So I don't know. So not too long ago.
That's it. That's all I
have.
That's all I have to say.
That's it. I'd like to critique my wife now.
Pray for me.
Pray for me. 'Tis the season of magic. We're sitting on the couch one night a couple weeks ago, and she's like, "Hey, let's just not do gifts this year." And I was like, "Okay." And like the first year she did that on Valentine's Day, I was like, "This is a trap."
Yeah.
It's not a trap. Like if she says it, she's legit. It's not a trap.
Sure.
So she's like, "Let's just not do gifts this year. Let's just like we used to do before COVID. Like let's just go on a nice long vacation for your birthday." Mm-hmm. And my birthday is in the later part of January, so it's a nice time to get away from Indiana cold. And I was like, "Okay, that sounds great." I'm not joking, man. Like 4 nights later, same spots, sitting on the couch. She's like, "Hey, you haven't given me any gift ideas." I'm like, "What? You said we're not doing gifts." She's like, "Well, I mean, you got to have something to open on Christmas morning." I'm like, "Oh, this is crap. This is crap." Because like the things I had already bought her, I'm like,
hold on to them.
These can roll to birthdays
or something.
Like, this can roll 7 months from now, and she can have it for her birthday. And it was a surprise. So then I instantly had to come up with, because I had already been thinking of stuff. So like I had like a lot of my friends have already been either they're done or they've already got their gift.
Right.
And so I was like,
donut maker, the gift that keeps giving.
Keeps on giving.
Yeah, I made some last week.
Have you tried it with waffle batter?
Not yet, but I did it with a cake. I did it with a cake batter.
How was it? Like an old-fashioned donut?
A little more moist, like almost too moist. So I'm like, I either have to overcook them or I have to let them sit out so they can dry out a little bit. So a box of cake mix will make 50 mini donuts.
1 box of cake mix?
Yes.
Heck yeah, brother.
And then I tried, and I did a yellow cake mix because I was trying to remake the powdered sugar Hostess donut.
I love it. I love what this gift has turned you into.
Turned me into 500 pounds, no damn well stretchable clothes. Ain't mad about that though.
Patrick, it's 2 a.m. Stop making donuts.
Can't. Gotta get this right.
Time to make the donuts.
So no, I made a powdered sugar, a cinnamon sugar, a regular glazed, and I guess just those 3. And they were nothing like Hostess donuts. The powdered sugar and cinnamon sugar, the powdered sugar was it was nothing like the Hostess. I gotta keep playing with it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm committed to this. I'll get it right.
I know you are.
And then I want to do melted chocolate, like the chocolate covered
Yeah.
Hostess donuts that I figure should be pretty easy. So melted, semi-sweet.
Did you,
glazed
for the
over
powdered
that
sugar,
hard.
did you just put the sugar in a Ziploc bag and shake them?
I had a bowl that I just rolled them in.
Yeah.
But I need to critique. I need to work on the method a little bit. It was clumpy. So, but they were were amazing.
That's fun.
So yeah, I gave
your kids have to love this.
Oh, they didn't get it.
Yeah,
they do. Yeah, they love it. It's the best thing ever.
They thought it was awesome. Yeah, sure.
I want to try all sorts of them. I'm like, I could do like a little egg omelet thing with some sausage, and like that would cook up well in there, and I'd have little donut quiches.
Donut quiche.
So there's all sorts of things that I'm like, at some point we're just gonna get nasty.
Oh, dude, no time like Christmas time to get nasty.
That's right.
So we offended your kids today by you not giving them any donuts.
Well, they can suck it up,
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Kathy, I look forward to yelling at you or having your daughters yell at you on Christmas. It's always the highlight of how they think you're doing it wrong, and nobody else seems to care, but they do. And I look forward to really sweating my balls off. Keep your house
at an incredibly hot house.
You're like, well, you're wearing shorts. Well, yeah, because it's 85 degrees in here.
Yeah, because you think it's Phoenix.
Yeah, that's okay. Their house. They can keep it at whatever they want.
Yeah, we offended people who want to control the holidays.
Oh my God!
Instead of
just let it
enjoy
be.
the holidays.
Enjoy it. Soak it in.
Yeah, we offended dentists.
We offended Jameson and their product, although it got better once it watered down a little bit.
Yeah.
The watering, the ice cubes helped a little bit, but
I think I'm just going to save that bottle for the summertime and take it to the pool.
Give that to a friend.
Yeah.
Hey,
well,
I started this, but I want you to enjoy the
Here's a half full.
You buy a cheap flask and you fill the flask up, and then you give them that, and like, hey, I hope you enjoy this.
Who do I not like? That's where I should start with.
Lots of people. That's a long list.
That is.
I mean. Hey, Spirit, as you head out, may you find the magic and the wonder in the Christmas Eve night, and may you pause and appreciate the family and friends that you get to enjoy the holiday with. Merry Christmas. In Germany, they have a parade of Krampuses.
I'm in for that.
Oh.
A holiday that scares children into being good is way better than you'll get coal.
It sounds like it's right up the evangelicals' agenda right there. They should totally own that.
I love it. I mean, for someone who finds no value in children, I think that's a wonderful.
Or evangelicals, for that matter.
Or evangelicals. That's true. Hey, can we go back to who we offended?
Nope, too late.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us, Sinner and Saint Podcast, episode 62. As our new platform suggests, don't tell anybody about this. Shh. Keep it to yourself.
The Speakeasy Podcast, where you don't tell anybody.
There's also we're tossing around the idea of in 2024 you have to have a password to be able to get in.
Ooh, yeah.
So there will be like a Thursday 1 second podcast that's just like Huckleberry
Barf,
and then you've got to enter Huckleberry Barf to be able to access this.
Can we do it that way where we both say a word? We're just like, and that's the password.
Do it again.
Ooh.
I thought it was ooh.
None.
Brains.
Ooh, nice. That's nice. Oh, that's it. That's how we're doing that.
None brains. So if you want to listen to this in 2024 to get into the Speakeasy, you got to have the password. We'll see you on New Year's Eve, guys.
Merry Christmas.